Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Thank you for being with us today with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. This news yesterday, Jamie, for Cincinnati, as they'll play at Utah tomorrow. Sources reporting that their big running back, Evan Pryor, is out. The hope is that he can return for their game against Arizona, but suffered the ankle injury against Baylor last week. He's their leading rusher. He's an Ohio State transfer, leads them with 478 yards on the season, averaging 7.2 yards per rush. Their coach, Scott Satterfield, had said earlier this week that Pryor was expected to be out this week. So that will maybe be a factor in the ball game tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like that line has jumped up to 10.5 in that game, and clearly he's an important guy for Cincinnati. I still feel like they've got a chance to make that game closer and have a shot to win it.
Okay. The Big 12's the other games, that game and our game, pretty much I don't know if it's the two premier games, but two of the two premier games. Yeah,
they are definitely the two premier games.
The other games: Oklahoma State at 1-7, at Kansas 4-4. West Virginia is at Houston. It'd be nice if Rich Rod would go in there and just take care of the Cougars. I don't know if there's much hope for that. West Virginia is 2-6. Houston is 7-1. They have an 11 a.m. kick. Man, you would think that Cougar Town would be really, really excited about their football team. It'd be interesting to see what kind of fan support they get for that.
I'm sure the fan base that is the University of Houston fans are excited. They absolutely should be. They've got a pretty good-looking path to get to the Big 12 championship game at this point.
No doubt. UCF plays at Baylor. That's an 11 a.m. kick. UCF is 4-3. Baylor is 4-4. Arizona State and Iowa State, both with 3 losses, so they're below you now, even though Arizona State has the advantage on Texas Tech in terms of any kind of tiebreaker. But, man, at this point in time, neither one of those teams really in contention, right? In your mind,
Well, they're trying to stay in contention, but, yeah.
Pretty much.
They're right now on the outside looking in. Yeah. I wouldn't put them in contention, but I guess if I'm being honest, but they're still holding out hope. But it's a tough path for them, no question. A rematch of the Big 12 championship game, and both of them limping into it.
That is a noon kickoff tomorrow. Tomorrow night, your Big 12 matchups are Arizona at Colorado. That's at 6 o'clock. And then you got to stay up late for Cincinnati and Utah. Cincinnati ranks 17th. Utah is at number 24. The game will kick at 9:15 from Salt Lake. And, the Red Raiders may be home from Manhattan by the time that game kicks.
Okay.
so they can watch as they feel like, right? Hopefully they're coming home with a win from Manhattan. Red Raiders are favored by 7.5. Is that what you would do you like that? I mean, that's more than home field advantage. I mean, that's if you took into K-State's potential home field advantage and then you tacked onto that, it's almost like a 10 or 11 point, if you just played on a neutral site, 10-point advantage for the Red Raiders.
I think the Tech will win by more than 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I would take that bet.
Okay. That's.
I don't think Tech's going to blow them out or anything like that, but I like their chances to cover that.
Okay. All right. Well, man, I'd at this point in time, we'd take a 1-point win, right?
We would
kick that extra point and win, and go home. Joey McGuire on his radio show last night when he was talking about Darren Morton, he said, and this is obvious. He said this is why he came back, for why we are right where we are right now. in terms of being at 7-1 and big chances to have a great season. And he said, I thought if he was going to miss time this year, it would be because of his shoulder. And I think maybe a lot of people would have said that too, right?
Well, it makes sense. He's had issues with those with the shoulder in recent years.
He said he could have played last week. We've heard that. And he said, just so you know, Jamie, he's had a really good week. Okay. Now, he said he feels good. He said he's got an edge about him. He said, I'm excited for him to be back. I'll bet he is.
Think all Red Raider fans are.
Yeah. But he's got an edge, so that's good as well. And I think you'll see maybe some more. Don't you think you'll see some more variety in the old playbook this week, or do you think it really matters that much?
I thought the variety in the playbook was fine last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think that you were holding back last week.
Do you think if they'd have done that against Arizona State, had a similar variety, that the outcome would have been different?
I'll be honest with you. I think the Arizona State struggles had a little to do with the play calling, and I think it had a little to do with the quarterback checking into plays that or not taking plays that he wasn't as comfortable with.
Okay.
So I'm not putting that all on the play calling. I think your quarterback had something to do with that as well.
And some reluctance maybe to trust what he saw downfield. And that just comes with experience and playing time.
Just being conservative.
Yeah. One other player note for tomorrow. Chapman Lewis is going to be back, and he's going to play. And they did this strategically, Jamie, for both him and Peyton Morgan. Morgan will play on special teams. But as a result, Lewis is going to play these last 4 games, so he'll get a year back because he had not used a red shirt. So they've put it in play so he would play these last 4 games. You've seen his name be on the questionable list or the doubtful list, and we've heard him going back to practice. Well, now he'll play this week and the next 3 weeks, barring any kind of problem, and then anything from a postseason standpoint, and then he'll get to add on a year. So he's played 2. This will be considered a redshirt year, so he'll have 2 more to play after this one.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good news, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's smart. Although maybe there's a thought in your mind that after giving up some big passes against Arizona State, that you might have been able to use him. I don't know if he was ready 3 weeks ago or not, but probably not. Would be my guess. But yeah, that makes sense that they hold him till there's only 4 games left.
Yeah, so that's good.
And the great news is all the games that you're going to play in the postseason, they don't count.
Yes, so it's one of those things where, on one hand, you're like, I really don't like this, but then when it's affecting you, you're like, I love that rule.
That's interesting. I'm okay with that one.
Are you okay?
But if a guy plays 4 games in the regular season, I think that should count
as a full year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you get to that total, yeah.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Halloween. Here is Jeff McGuire with a day in sports history.
So to understand this first one, you got to know a little bit of backstory.
Okay.
And the backstory is that for a very, very long time at the early part of Major League Baseball, the American League president and the National League president were politely at war.
Okay.
Like, they hated each other. They were competing for players. Mm-hmm. They were competing for views. They were trying to be the dominant force of baseball in this country. 1900, AL President Van Johnson writes to National League President Nick Young, seeking peace.
Peace.
Getting us closer to the Major League Baseball that we have today.
Détente. Okay.
Nice.
1950. The Big Cat, Earl Lloyd, becomes the first African-American to play a game in the NBA. Scored 6 points on his debut with the Washington Capitals.
So they broke the color line before Major League Baseball.
1950?
Help me with Jackie Robinson. Was it in the 40s? Okay.
1972. Cleveland Indian pitcher Gaylord Perry wins the American League Cy Young Award. He had a lot of stops.
He did have a lot of.
Yeah.
He did.
He was good at all of them, but he had a lot of stops.
He won 300 games. He's a Hall of Famer.
1993. Chat line, get ready. Robert Hall completes 15 of his 28 passes. Lloyd Hill grabbed 5 passes for 67 yards and a touchdown. And Bam Morris ran in for 158 yards and 2 scores as the Red Raiders won in Austin 31-22.
Let's go.
Jackie Robinson, 1947. So 3 years.
2014. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Frank Thomas, Bobby Cox, Tony La Russa, and Joe Torre are inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
Okay.
That is a solid class.
Yes. What year was that?
2014.
Wonder why they did that so late in the year.
Don't know. It is National Caramel Apple Day. Or Caramel Apple Day, as you prefer.
I do prefer the...
Well, that you can do that.
Caramel. Either, neither. Either, or.
Before we get to today's birthdays, 2 big ones coming up on Sunday. Danny Amendola turns 40 on Sunday.
Wow.
Let's go, Danny boy.
And a guy that Jacob Rodriguez kind of reminds me of, going back to conversation we had yesterday, Dakota Allen turns 30 on Sunday. Kind of the everywhere linebacker, getting to the spots that he needed to be. Today, Rob Schneider is 62, Vanilla Ice 58, Nick Saban 74, Dan Rather 94, Jane Pauley 75, Mike Napoli 44, and Fred McGriff is 62.
Crime Dog.
And I'm only mentioning this today because we talked about it literally yesterday. Brian Piccolo would have celebrated a birthday today.
Oh, wow.
All of this has just been a random occurrence. I don't know how it all lined up this way.
Right. No, sometimes, how old would he have been?
Born in 43, so...
82.
And on this day, 1993... 23-year-old actor River Phoenix, who appeared in such films as Stand By Me and My Own Private Idaho, dies of a drug overdose outside a West Hollywood nightclub. At the time of his death, Phoenix was considered one of the most promising actors of his generation and had received a Best Supporting Actor nomination for his performance in 1988's Running on Empty. In the early hours of October 31st, Phoenix collapsed from a drug overdose outside of the Viper Room, a nightclub partially owned at the time by actor Johnny Depp, and located on the Sunset Strip.
And that is this day in sports
history.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. And I was thinking about this as soon as Jeff brought this up, or as soon as Jamie said he played for a lot of teams. Anyone remember the jersey that Gaylord Perry wore in the Old Timers softball game at the All-Star festivities? Yeah, it had one from all of his
all
teams.
Different teams.
All his different teams. Yeah,
Cool.
I can see that picture of him wearing that jersey. It was pretty funny. Somebody says strategically or strategery. Yeah, right. Either one works when you're looking at strategy. Okay, either one of those things works. We get this from 19 minutes ago. Okay, I'm up. All right, good. Hey, join the party here on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can get us your prediction. Hit us up. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. And hit us up there with your score predictions. Chuck, no Dan Rather voice. I was thinking about, my Dan Rather voice is, he would always say, he was very serious. Dan Rather reporting, CBS News. He was very, very deliberate with that.
Not as good as your Nixon.
Dan Rather reporting, CBS News.
I mean, and that's not an insult to your Dan Rather.
The Nixon.
The Nixon is very good.
And then the Walter Cronkite. CBS News. President Kennedy is dead. Crazy that you got Nick Saban, Dan Rather, and Jane Pauley all born on the same day in various years. Saban always tell the story of with his birthday. They'd turn out all the lights in his house so that he could have dinner because the trick or treaters would come.
Sure. Yeah.
And then he'd have a little birthday, and then boom. Do you think there's anything to him? Do you think he would consider going back to coaching at any of these big stops that are open?
I wouldn't just be shocked or whatever. It seemed like he hated the state of college sports, and that's part of the reason that he got out. And so I guess it would be a little bit surprising that he would come back. I don't think that anywhere he's going to go, he wouldn't choose a school with he would definitely choose a school that had the NIL backing.
Sure.
But again, that's part of the deal that he didn't enjoy dealing with.
Yeah.
And so that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I mean, we know coaches love to coach.
Right.
And I mean, that's what they enjoy doing and love working with the young men and all that good stuff for young ladies. And so I mean, if he has the itch again, it wouldn't shock me. But I guess it's just the fact that he's, been pretty outspoken about that he doesn't love the way college sports is the way the business of it at this point. So that would surprise me if he came back. Yeah,
I think you're right about that. This Texas Tech 27, K-State 21. Cameron writes in Texas Tech 35-21 over the Wildcats. We get this. This is a slogan from back in the day. Down the hall, over the hill, bam for Bam Morris.
Okay.
Chat line doesn't disappoint.
No, does not disappoint. So there you go. So if you have a thought or a comment, you can go there. Hey, the LSU athletic director is out. Jamie, they've fired him. Scott Woodward, who fired Brian Kelly. And I read this long article last night, and I did pretty much get to the end of it, on the politics of LSU athletics and learning that the governor's involvement goes all the way back to almost the beginning of time in terms of, governors missing their election parties to go to football games. But the governor in the state of Louisiana has the authority to fire anybody at LSU. And it's just crazy. And it's going to be interesting to see who they're able to get as their football coach with that kind of chaos that's going on inside of their athletic department.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, is any football coach wanting to go jump into that mess now?
Somebody will, but it won't be maybe the quality that what they're thinking that they're going to be able to get.
This dude the governor showed himself a little bit.
No, yes, he sure did.
What a crazy story.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Here on the Morning Drive, good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3. Last night on Red Raider Football with Joey McGuire, Skylar Gill-Howard was asked to describe his head coach, Joey McGuire. He used the word energetic. I think that's a good word, right?
I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
And then he said this. This is a younger guy talking about his head coach. He said, it's rare that you see a guy at that age having that much energy. And then he followed that up with, I love the guy. Joey McGuire's 50-something years old. It won't be long before Skylar Gill-Howard is 50-something years old and goes, really? He wasn't that old. But it was just funny. It was a funny line. Rare to see a guy at that age having that much energy. This from the great Gordo. Dear Chuck, how are you? I am fine. I am not a sports expert like the Quick brothers on the Morning Drive. Well, some would say that the Quick brothers aren't either, except for Jamie and Jeff are. But I'm not predicting an easy win in the Little Apple. It's always been a tough place for Tech to play, and spooky things seem to happen frequently in the Sunflower State. I've got Tech winning in overtime, 38-34. Wow. That's the first overtime score that we've seen, Jamie.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for the Monster Mash talk that you give us. Gordo, P.S. Please tell one Jeff McGuire that Gordo says hello.
Hi, Gordo.
Nothing for you today, Jamie, from Gordo.
It's okay. He usually gets me.
Yeah. Let's see. Offensive line, protect QB1. Defense, make this all about y'all. Make stops and score with turnovers. Okay.
Yeah, it does feel like unless you're really beating yourself with turnovers, that this, this game should fall your way just because with your talent level. I think that it's just even though we've seen the offense struggle in the last couple of weeks, or maybe struggle is not the right word. You scored 42 points last week, but not as good as we've seen it at times. You still can rely on this defense, and I think that they're going to really make things difficult for Kansas State. So I don't think you're going to hold them to less than 10 or anything like that, but 17, 20 to 24, something like that, feels like in that range. And if you're able to score more than 24 points, I think you're going to be in a good spot. And again, I think you're able to do that unless you turn the ball over a bunch.
It was the weirdest halftime lead of 28-0 that probably you'll see, just from the standpoint that it's like, we're winning, but man, it sure doesn't feel very good, right?
Yeah, no, your offense didn't do hardly anything at all. I mean, it was a defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown, one drive that started the 26. It was a one-play drive, so you really just had one sustained drive in the half. I mean, it speaks to you not being really good on the offensive line in that game, and I don't think you were getting great quarterback play either.
Yeah, it was just like I said, it was clunky more than anything else.
And I think you talk about playing complementary football or whatever from one side to the other, the offense to the defense. I think a lot of us all watched the last two games and felt like, man, you're not having a lot of success running the ball, and you immediately point to the offensive line and say, well, that's the offensive line's not doing their job. And there is some truth in that, but I think having a quarterback behind center who the defenses have to respect his passing ability factors in massive here, because I think they were able to crowd the line of scrimmage the last two games and put extra guys in the box, making things more difficult on your offensive line because they didn't respect the passing game as much. And I think that when Baron Morton's in there, it's a completely different deal. So I think playing complementary offense, with having the threat, a greater threat at the quarterback position, allows you to be better in the run game as well. And I think maybe we didn't focus on that enough, and that Barron just makes defenses play more honest when he's in there compared to Will or compared to Mitch. And so I think that's a big factor, and it should be an added, something that really helps your offense get back to where they were previously before Barron got hurt.
One of the other things that he talked about yesterday, Coach McGuire did, he talked about the loss of Quentin Joyner and how that affected their special teams, especially with using Jacoby Williams on special teams. And obviously he had a big kickoff return, which he described as one of the toughest things to do. And he talked about how rare it is, because usually you see a yellow flag, from either the return team or the kick team. But he said that they were going to use, before Joyner went down, Jacoby Williams in a lot of different ways, and obviously special teams, but also going to use him as a slot. He said, so you're going to see some different things on Saturday. So maybe we see Jacoby Williams line up in a slot position. They also feel like that they're going to have some opportunities on kick return and return coverage. So, because he talked about,
hopefully not too many.
Right. Hopefully it's not too many. But he said that Oklahoma State was one of the best at kick coverage, and he said we're going to have some opportunities this week. But yeah, you don't want to see too many. It
feels like Jacoby's going to be used less in the run game now, and that he's going to be used more as a return specialist, and maybe, as you're talking about there, as a receiver a little bit more in a slot to get him. You put him in the backfield, and you spread him out, and you get him lined up with a linebacker where you feel like you've got an advantage in that situation. I think that was part of the decision in moving Oliver Miles over to the offensive side of the ball, and that he could handle some of the some of the duties of the running back as well, and I thought he looked good last week getting his opportunity. I know it was in garbage time, but I wonder how much Jacoby's going to be used in the run game now, and it'll be more on Cam Dickey than it will more than on Jacoby, but we still see Jacoby making a big impact in other phases of the game.
Well, and right after he talked about that, he talked about Oliver Miles, and he says he is a running back now, and he'll be a corner in the spring. But he said with regard to him, he goes, man, he's just a football player. He wants to be out on the field. And then he offered this, and this was kind of interesting. Again, speaking about these guys are athletic, and they come in some cases with more than one sport in their background. Talked earlier about Skylar Gill-Howard was a high jumper at one point in time, but Oliver Miles was a triple jumper, and a really good one. He went 51 feet in high school as a triple jumper. So I don't know if that helps him be a good running back or not, but I mean, he'll be a corner in the spring. But right now he's a running back for the Red Raiders. So we'll see how much time he gets in there with that. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Good Freaky Friday to you, gents. Tech will win 40-20. Okay. I like that. Ironic that Matt Wells is the K-State offensive coordinator and joined the K-State staff when him losing the K-State game got him fired.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
And there was Matt Wells was made available to the K-State media, and he talked about how this is a special game. And he was very complimentary of his time here. Pointed out that his daughter graduated from Texas Tech and that he still has friends here and neighborhood Tex buddies is what he called them, and golf buddies that he stays in communication with. And he said, it was a part of our time and part of our life, and he had nothing but good things to say. So that probably doesn't surprise those that know Matt Wells.
Not at all.
And just he handled it with a lot of class and style, and he said he felt like he left it better than he found it. And he did bring up the COVID year and all that kind of stuff, but didn't make any excuses. He understood. Then he acknowledged that Texas Tech's got it really rolling right now.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys, today's question is in reference to tomorrow's game for the Red Raiders. Mm-hmm. Which player, a receiver or a running back, do you feel like is most likely to go over 100 yards or just say lead the team in yardage from scrimmage? A receiver or a running back?
I would love it if Cam Dickey went over 100 yards in rushing, because I think he goes over 100 yards in rushing, you're almost guaranteeing yourself a victory. I have a feeling it's going to be a receiver that goes over 100 yards. And I'm going to put my money today on Reggie Virgil.
Okay. He's been a little quiet of late.
He has. So maybe time for him to bust out a little bit.
Cam Dickey.
He'll get the most touches of all of them, that's for certain. But obviously it's harder to rack up the yardage rushing. But a tendency for the team, you would think, to really go after their poor rush defense. Mm-hmm. So you think, Jeff, he's going to... Is it going to be a methodical day, or is it going to be a big... Is he going to have another big one?
I don't know that it's just going to be through just the running game. Like you also said, who's going to lead them in... I think he can be a benefit in the passing game as well. Sure. I don't know that he's going to get 100 rushing necessarily, but I think he's going to be closer to 100 rushing than you have a receiver to 100 receiving. I also think that he could absolutely be your leading offensive weapon in this game.
Okay. One thing you notice is that K-State's not great against the pass either on defense. I think they're 12th in the Big 12 in pass defense. I think Choice told me that yesterday. So I just think...
That's correct.
I think you're going to see...
We asked you not to listen to Choice anymore.
Sometimes he makes sense. I think you're going to see the Red Raiders use both phases of offense effectively to help each other out. And I think we're going to see Caleb Douglas hit on a big play or two in this one. So I'm going to say Douglas is he's going to be the most likely to have the highest total. I think Caleb Douglas is going to have. I think this would be his best day of the year. I'm going to say 119 yards receiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
And maybe the guy that we're leaving out, because it seems like Barron likes to go to him, is Coy Aiken.
Yeah, no question. I think we're leaving out a lot of guys. Jacoby may not be used as much in the run game, but he's still going to, if he's going to be used in the passing game, he has the potential to do it. I think any of the receivers, you can put Carter in there at the tight end position as well. He's when healthy, it feels like he's been a favorite target of Barron's.
It feels like he's got some ability to get open too.
I think there's plenty of guys that. I don't think any of our answers you think we're crazy. I mean, Reggie Virgil's also a guy that has a chance to, take it over the top and put up some big plays as well.
Yeah, we just need him to catch the ball. So.
We haven't seen a lot of trickery from this Red Raider offense, mainly because you've been ahead. You haven't needed to try to fool your opponent, and your defense has done a really good job of defending what little trickery they have seen. Is this a game where you pull some of those out?
I'm trying to think of, besides like the 2-point conversion thing.
Right. That's just okay. I don't consider that trickery. That's just
used
different.
A funky formation in punting once that worked terribly. They got the punt blocked. I'm trying to think, have we done any kind of trick play on offense? Anything?
There may have been a flea flicker somewhere, but I doubt it. Like, it's not just jumping out at me.
I don't remember that. I don't remember a double pass.
I don't remember an actual reverse.
Nobody runs a true reverse hardly anymore.
Well,
yeah, those were fun back in the day.
They don't work.
What? Reverses don't work?
No.
Okay.
About 9 out of 10 times they don't work.
Okay. This is fact or Chuck's opinion?
Chuck's opinion.
Yeah,
okay.
All right.
You're allowed to have
I don't have any data, any analytics that back up my, statement, but it just feels like,
why would that ever stop us?
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. It just feels like that they don't work in my just ever so humble opinion.
I think people use the jet sweep now and kind of in
stuff like that.
Place of that, yeah.
I would tell you that on a scale of who Jamie listens to, Jeff, I think it's a battle for you and I on second or third. I think I'm a distant third. I think you're second and Choice is first in terms of who Jamie truly listens to. I don't think I come anywhere close to the listening to aspect. He listens to me. He does a really good job of listening to me, but he does he does not, quote, listen to me for sound advice or things like that. He never comes by my office and, hey, what do you think about this? I'm thinking about this. What do you think about this? No. Or like when we're talking here, I think if Choice were here, Choice would be considered the expert, and you would be expert number 2, and I would just be the court gesture that's here for the fun and games.
So that's a no. You don't think we're pulling out the stops for this week's game?
Correct.
Okay.
I just wanted to get that in there.
Jeff. Play the music, Jeff. I don't know what that was about.
I was just letting him go to see if we got to the answer to the question that I asked.
It's like, I haven't heard that much whining since Lance Leipold came to town.
Wow. I wasn't whining. I was stating fact. Just stating fact.
No. I think those go with opinions.
I think there were hurt bottoms involved.
Oh, no, not at all. I was looking at the K-State. What I was looking at was the K-State depth chart to see if their kicker, who's listed as out, meant anything to them, and doesn't appear so. They have a kicker that's out. They have a couple offensive linemen that are out. The biggest guy that's out for them is Dylan Edwards, their running back, but he has been injured. So they've probably come to life without him and know what they need to do, and they're not that worried about it, would be my guess. But it's still a factor. All right, it's 7:40 this morning here on the Morning Drive. I think today has gone so much better than yesterday. I feel like I labored yesterday, but I feel like today that it is like we are like on top of the lake, man. It's not choppy water at all. We're like canoeing just right along, or kayaking like right along, or whatever, motorboating right along. Man, we're smooth waters. It's not been choppy at all. Okay, just my opinion on that.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I think this is a good thing, and I hope that we have continued reason to kind of be in this vein. Although next week is going to be a busy sports week with just tons going on with football and the beginning of basketball. We're not attempting to do a disservice. It's just the amount of excitement and stuff that's going on with football. And basketball season will start on Monday for the Lady Raiders. They take on North Carolina A&T, and Tuesday for the Red Raiders, they take on Lindenwood. North Carolina A&T should have been a tournament team last year, so it's not a total cupcake, but it should be a win. Should be. I don't know if I haven't done enough on it to say it's going to be a 20-point win or a 15-point win, because you got a lot of new people too. So, and then for the Red Raiders, is it going to be a 50-point win or a 40-point win, or do they take the brakes off and it's just a 30-point win? But next week you'll have a couple of men's games and a couple of women's games, and then a week from Sunday another women's game. So it's here, and you hope, man, it culminates like it did last year for the men, that you get yourself in position to play for the right to go to a Final Four, and you take it to the next step, because I feel like that team it feels like and seems like and reads like it's really loaded to make a long, big run, and being ranked third in the Big 12 or second in the Big 12 behind Houston tells you that others feel that way too, that it's going to be a big year for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, great potential for them to be just as good as you were last year, it seems like. We'll have to see when they actually get on the court and playing real games and all that good stuff. But I think that if you're a Red Raider fan, you have to feel good about the chances of it being a lot of fun again with Tech men's basketball. And
JT Toppin keeps getting listed for all these awards, and so do other guys keep getting listed for all these awards, and the preseason favorite is Houston. You certainly understand that. BYU's right behind them. Arizona, Iowa State. I'm sure that people that look at this list on an annual basis will go, wow, this league must really be tough if Kansas and Baylor and TCU are all kind of below the top five, because you got Houston, Texas Tech, BYU, Arizona, and Iowa State as your preseason top five. And then Kansas, and then Baylor. And those two schools have won the most recent national championships for the Big 12, although it's been some time. And then kind of looking down the line, Arizona State is at number 16, and Colorado's at number 15. But Utah's at 13. Oklahoma State's up to 12. I feel like that's a program that will probably get better. Maybe it's just how much money they're going to be able to spend there as well. But it looks very, very promising for the Red Raiders this coming year.
No question.
So we'll have all the games for you. The women will play on 93.7 The Eagle this year, and the men, for the most part, on Double T 97.3. There might be some conflicts that occasionally they'll be on 100.7 The Score, and we'll keep you apprised as to all that.
Only if they play at the same time as the football team.
Okay. So we'll keep you up to speed on that. But I hope that we have great crowds. The season ticket holders on the men's side, they've done their job, gone out and sold out the season tickets. And there's still single game tickets available and there's still single season tickets available for the women as well, and regular year as well. So
as for the broadcasts, as of right now, there are no conflicts.
Oh, okay.
As of right now.
Okay.
Game times change, et cetera, but
okay. So all the men's games here on Double T 97.3. Yeah. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing this team.
Jeff's nervous about December 20th.
Man, I hope there's chaos on December 20th.
It would kind of stink, though, if they put those two things at the same time, right?
The Duke game and the playoff game.
I wonder if we could get any... I mean, do we get any favor in like, oh, okay, we'll move that time later, or we'll play it Friday instead of Saturday? I wonder if you're able to do that.
Which game do you think...
Probably the answer is no.
Which game do you think is easier to move? Time-wise, the football game or the basketball game?
I think the basketball game's neither. Basketball game's a set time.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly going to put the football game on primetime Friday night, or I mean, yeah, you're not getting either one of them moved.
Yeah. It's just
I was definitely joking when I said that.
Yeah, it would be a great problem to have.
It would, but it would stink.
It would stink.
It would stink if they were playing at the same time.
It would stink, but
it would also be great.
Yeah. I mean, feel free to just win out football, and put yourself in a position where you're hosting. Makes you just think about the possibilities, doesn't it? But you got to get past this K-State game first. I mean, that's a place that's been you can say, well, history doesn't matter. Well, I think sometimes history does matter, and you haven't won there since 2008. You've lost 11 of your last 12.
I don't think
12 of your last 13.
I don't think it affects this team. I think it shows that it's a tough place to win.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't think any of these guys are gun shy because, have any of them even made the trip to Manhattan?
Well, the last time that you were there was 2022, so
maybe Barron probably.
There's a
probably a few
fair number that have never been there.
Yeah. But again, it speaks to the fact that they've won so many in a row against you there. It speaks to it being a tough place to play. Yeah. It doesn't, I don't think they're, ghosts coming out there to take you down or anything. I just think that.
You don't think so?
It just proves that their atmosphere is good and it's a hard place to win. And it also proves that they've had good teams.
Yeah.
Better than you, unfortunately.
You're 2-8 all time in Manhattan, 7-7 at home. So you're 9-15 overall against Kansas State.
So would it be fair for us to call it the rectangle of doom, Chuck?
No, I'm not going to get drawn into that.
Is it not a rectangle? It's parallel sides, 90-degree corners.
It is.
You wouldn't call what's happened there a lot of doom for the Red Raiders?
It's been bad juju.
I think doom is a compliment to what's been happening. Good old-fashioned butt whoopings is what I would call most of them.
See, he tells me to leave my KU at home, and then he brings up that. And he's just trying to draw me off sides.
It's almost working.
It's almost working. It's almost working. So, Coach McGuire said last night on his radio show, the keys to the game are running the football, stopping the run, winning the turnover battle, and us winning on special teams. You asked Choice yesterday as part of your Jamie question of the day with him, a stat that you're going to watch out for, and I do think I'm going to look at third down. You getting them off the field on third down, and you continuing drives on third down. I just think that's critical. And Choice said yesterday, first down yardage, and I think that's a good answer. That's a different answer, and I get that. But I think for me, I'm watching third down. What are you doing? How are you doing? Feel free not to have any third downs. Feel free to just score touchdowns on first down all day long. That'd be awesome. It's not necessarily realistic though. Is there a stat you're watching for tomorrow?
I think the running numbers are huge, both sides.
Okay, running and stopping. Okay.
Yep.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.